What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. Per usual, we always start this show by being transparent. Yesterday was another good day for myself. I went 4-1. That makes me, I think, 11-2 so far this week. So it's been a really good, really profitable week. I've won 30 of my last 43 wagers, and we'll try to keep that going here today, Rob. How did yesterday treat you? How have you been doing?
Yesterday was way more of a subpar day for me, Skee, although we did leave the viewers here with Jazz Team total over as a best bet. That one did come through. Also had a couple of winning plays yesterday, but stuff that stopped me. I had an affection for the Sacramento Kings last night, had them team total over 124.5. Get to 120, even with a 19-point first quarter. So they didn't really get out of the chute quick enough. Fell a little bit shy there. And I was on the Lakers as you were yesterday. Something else escaping me now, where though that I did not. Wasn't the Miami game? God, these sports are killing me, Skee. But let me say this: it was not a profitable day. It was subpar. So we look to bounce back here tonight with Major League Baseball, NBA basketball, and of course the NIT.
Absolutely. And a lot of different sports going now. Like you said, MLB starting today. And I'm a big MLB guy. I wasn't always this way, but I did scrape out a little bit of profit last year. I've had plenty of years where, I have came out on top. The one thing I'll say is people who are used to watching me handicap MLB, we did have the Twitter spaces last year. We had the green room even before that. And I want to get back to doing that sort of a thing, like a roundtable baseball thing. The only problem for me is I don't dig too deep. I don't have the stats that I use to cap the games day by day until about 3 weeks in. So when we get a little bit closer towards May or end of April, that's when I'll start really firing up for the MLB. And I'm also looking forward to doing some more live shows like we did. Had a really profitable season when we were attacking the live team totals. So look to attack those bullpens again this year. And don't worry, a lot of baseball will be coming on this channel. And Rob, let me ask you, do you take the same approach? Do you usually wait and, kind of see how things are going in the MLB before you jump in, or you like to jump in right away?
Yeah, well, I do wait a little bit, Skee, and I'll say this: I kind of jump in on opening day because I think we all know what the aces are going to provide us. So I think in a case like today where everybody's number one is going, I get involved. I'm involved in 3 games. But as the rotations go deeper and the question marks begin and the bullpens, you have to really give them a look first time through. So I'll back off. I may not play for a couple of days until I see what these back ends of rotations can do and how these lineups are usually behind the pitchers to start the season, right? So there's a lot to learn in my estimation. I guess it's kind of the approach that you're using there from this opening month. But when these aces are on the hill, you know, we love our guy Sandy in Miami too, so we know what guys like that are going to give us.
Absolutely. And I was wrecking my brain. I'm not going to lie, Rob. I wanted to jump in today. It's just, I don't feel as confident as I usually do because I don't have the numbers to back up my feelings. I mean, I know who these guys are. Like you said, Sandy going up against Max. I don't even know what the score is right now. I know the game has started, but I wanted to back Sandy and I wanted the under because we know what those guys are going to give us. Games like that definitely can target. So I understand what you're saying there. Chris Clark, really quick, says Braves team total over 3.5. So a look from him there. We will focus on NBA first. We do have 2 games. If we do have extra time, we'll go to NIT. And after that, we'll maybe see if there was anything left on the MLB board that is catching our attention. So let's start with 549, 550, Boston and Milwaukee. This one opened Milwaukee minus 3.5. We're looking at 2.5 pretty much everywhere. Total open 236.5. And it looks like it's staying right there at 236.5. Injury report for both of these teams. I see it pretty clean. Let me just hit the refresh button here because Milwaukee did play last night. Could see some guys updated as far as the injury report throughout the day. But for Boston, they do look pretty clean. I only see Gallinari. Sorry, bear with me. My screen is going a little slow. Giannis was game time. He's now off of the injury report. Chris Middleton, game time decision. Crowder game time decision, Myers Leonard game time decision. Okay, we have people on the injury report for Boston now. Grant Williams game time, Time Lord game time, Peyton Pritchard game time decision. So a couple of different guys out of here. This is how I feel, Rob. I think I like that Boston is the more rested team here, but Milwaukee playing last night. I was expecting Milwaukee to kind of sit some guys and get up more for this game tonight, but I felt like they kind of cared about that game yesterday, maybe because of how the Pacers beat them prior. But I like the rest advantage for the Celtics as far as recent performance. Celtics have been the better offensive, defensive, and rebounding team. Um, and let me just take a look at this query. This might help us out a little bit, but I do like the Celtics side, and I'm also liking an under here, Rob. The thought process for the under is when two elite teams play, and I say, and there we go, Josh. Josh helping me out. Said need the banner.
There you
Josh,
go.
keep me on track. Keep me focused.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have two elite teams, and when I say elite, I mean teams with a 60% win percentage or greater than 60% win percentage, and a high total of 230 or more, they are 53, 32, and 4 to the under, 62.4%. And let me just make sure I show that it's active here. And also, I mean, you look at these home teams, they're 34, 52, and 3 against the spread, average line minus 2.2. So not necessarily covering here. Let me just dig a little bit deeper. Let's say, what if we have a total a little bit higher because this one's closer, above 235. Um, I've already looked this up, so I know what the results say. We'll go since 2016, a total of 234 or higher. It gets a little bit better here. You have 20 unders, 7 overs, 3 pushes, about 74.1% to the under. So I think this total is a little bit high. I think it should be playoff intensity type basketball for both of these clubs, trying to send a message as the playoffs, get a little bit closer. But Rob, let's look here. We've looked at if the total is a little bit higher. Let me just check. Let me go back to the original query here. And let's say this team is on a back to back. Rest equals 0. If they're on a back to back, home teams, let me read it again. When two elite teams play with the high total greater than 230, and the home team is on a back to back, the home team is 1-8 straight up, 2-7 against the spread. Let's see specifically after All-Star break. Just see what it does for the query. 0-5 straight up, 1-4 against the spread. And this is as far as the database goes. We see these results are since 2008 because that's the last time that we saw this kind of a situation. So the query leads me to think we're looking at Celtics and we're looking at under. That's the way I like this game, Rob. Do you agree with the query, or how do you look at this game?
Those were both my initial inclinations, Skee. The first one I thought of was under, and then I liked Celtics as well. So then I had to start digging, and I chickened out on under. It doesn't mean I will before the tip off, but just the way that these two are scoring and the way Milwaukee's playing at pace, it scares me to not have either one of the Williams tonight if they don't play. They didn't play the other night. Boston, to their advantage, I think, where side play is concerned, is the fact that they got smacked by Washington the other night. And I don't know that they were really into that game whatsoever. So I would expect motivation there. I said yesterday that I think Milwaukee will come motivated simply because if they win here, Skee, the number one seed is basically clinched with 5 to go. And now they could start resting guys. If they win this game, they're +4 over Boston with only 5 to play. And again, that basically wins you the number one seed. And then we can start with the injury list full of Bucks starters. So the win last night was kind of important. Drew Holiday goes crazy for 51. Giannis, I think, double-double at least, maybe triple-double in that contest. Not extensive minutes, and they weren't really hard minutes because Milwaukee was, in a game where it's 280-something points, nobody's really playing a lot of defense. It just go down, score buckets, get back. Not a lot of extended minutes, not a lot of real pressure late in the game on Milwaukee. So I think they'll be fresh. But I do think Boston's the right side here. I'm thinking of lots of ways to maybe chop it up. First quarter, first half, but then I backed off of that because I thought maybe Milwaukee comes strong here. Um, the game really, I haven't played it because I can't convince myself that anything is definitively right. But in looking at it, boy, 236.5 just seems a little bit high in a game where everybody should be motivated. And we see last night, for instance, real quick here, Skee, it doesn't matter what the first three quarters bring. It's what the fourth quarter brings. And I'm seeing this time and time again the last couple of weeks where teams lock up in the fourth quarter and these overs, that's the graveyard where they go to die. Last night, Dallas puts up 17 points in the fourth after scoring 91 in the first three because Philly took the ball out of Luka's hands and out of Kyrie's hands, and that was the end of that. So we could see something like that tonight, real high scoring three, and then lower scoring fourth as the tension builds to win the game. So kind of at a loss right now for which way I'm going to go with it, but I lean Boston. I lean under.
Well, I'm glad we're lining up on this game. D. Williams says what Tatum was saying in the post-game interview got me on the Celtics tonight. They want this game. I didn't see what he said, but I like to hear that. Any chance you caught his post-game interview, Rob? You know what he's talking about here?
I didn't catch it. The only thing I could say to that is, again, I think they just blanked on the Washington game looking ahead to this. So that would make sense that they're focused on this one the way they performed against Washington the other night.
Okay. And I got you, Capper. He dropped a query in the chat. Let's see what it says here. Let me see if I can unpack this one. It says it backs the Celtics and the under. So this is a query that is active here today, Bucks and Celtics, since 2018. So we're looking at home favorites on a back-to-back, and their opponent is on the front end of a back-to-back. Their opponent's next game is at home, and the previous over-under margin. So I guess this is saying the last one stayed under by more than 7 points. So this is, I guess that's what this query said. Hopefully I said it right. If I didn't, help me out in the chat. I'm not the SDQL bachelor like you, Capper, but I'm working on it. So I think that's what this one says. When I go back to 2018, it says 11-7 straight up, but only 4-14 against the spread. 11-7 to the under, and this says you would fade the Bucks, so you'd be on the Celtics, and you'd play the under. So a little bit more support for how we were looking here. Like hearing that from the chats. Let's see. D. Williams said, I got C's +3 and Pels +7. Sab likes the stats that I showed, says it's enough to get him on the Celtics. And Anthony, hey, is the way to talk throwback special just for Thursday, or can it be used for 7-day? I honestly don't know. Maybe just ask customer service and they'll help you out. Wish I had the answer, but unfortunately I do not. I barely even knew it was that day today, Throwback Thursday or however they calling it. So I'm just trying to get the winners, man. I'll let everybody else figure out the rest.
Skee, I've got something from Jason Tatum here real quick. I don't know if this is what was being referred to, but here's a quote from Tatum after the Washington game. In the playoffs, you're going to have to win games on the road at some point. Last year, we beat the Bucks in game 6 on the road. Last year, we beat Miami in game 7 on the road. So at some point, you're going to have to go on the road and win. So it doesn't sound like they're hunting the number 1 seed in particular. Maybe they're giving that up, but they could be hunting this game just to, statement with the Bucks.
And that makes sense. I mean, you gotta you gotta send a statement to that team and let them know, we're the top dog. So I totally understand where he's coming from, man. I told you where my money is. Mr. Veno told you the way he's feeling about this game. A couple guys in the chat also sharing their opinions. A lot of different ways to play it, but I like the Celtics. I like the under, and we will move on. We don't have unlimited time today. One more game in the association. Let me get over there. Is going to be the Pelicans and the Nuggets. This game open. Nuggets -9 down to 5 or 5.5 point favorite. Injury report. So for the Pelicans, looks like they'll continue to be without Alvarado, Liddell, and Zion. For the Nuggets, main culprit here why the injury report or why the line is dropping is Jokic's game time decision. Nobody else from the starting lineup. Nobody else that really matters. But Jokic game time here and being on the front end of a back to back with the Suns on deck, it wouldn't surprise me too much to see him sit this game. Versus, I feel like this is not a game that Denver really needs. If anything, they probably want to just send a message to the Suns and let them know, hey, we're the top dogs. When it comes down to the playoffs, we can handle you guys. So I think they care more about tomorrow than today. Whereas the Pelicans, they got to take every game. They need to not only cover, they need to win this game. They got, I think they're one game in front of Dallas, who's out of the play-in tournament. They're only a half game in front of that last spot. So every game matters if they're trying to make this play-in or make this playoffs. So because of that, because of the Pelicans being the better defensive and rebounding team lately, I'll roll with the Pelicans. I'll take them plus 6.5. I think they're live to win this game outright. Rob, do you feel the same as me?
I do. And boy, they let one slip the other night, didn't they? They had Golden State by 20 and let that thing get away second half. I mean, there was a lot of chippiness in that game, technicals, Draymond, doing Draymond things to get his team fired up, and it worked. I mean, the fourth quarter, actually, from the mid third on, was all Golden State. So New Orleans has a little something to atone for here. Skee, with only 2 games on the board last night, I had to be on Wager Talk today earlier, and I was kind of scouring, looking for something to play. And I don't dive real deep into the player props, but I think I found one here. I'll share what I bet already, and I'll share what I used on Wager Talk today. And I think Trey Murphy the third over 2.5 threes at minus 130. This streak has been incredible for him. This month of March, Pelicans have played 14 games. 12 times he's made 3 3-pointers or more. So he's over 2.5, 12 out of 14 times. Don't have the percentage off the top of my head, but it's close to 90% where you're cashing that ticket. They've kind of changed for the better their rotations, their minute allotments, and what they do as far as shot distribution is concerned. He's getting a lot of chances to shoot threes this month, 8.8 on average per game attempts, almost 9 per game. So the opportunity is there for us to make three. I said he's done it 12 times, over 2.5. 8 of those 12, he shot from three better than 40%. So he's been accurate as all heck in most of these games. But there's been 4 times where he still got over 2.5 threes and didn't shoot any better than 33%. So that speaks to the volume that he's getting. When you go 3 for 9, when you go 3 for 10, you're getting enough chances to make three. In this particular instance, I mean, we're talking about a 6'9" guy who from the perimeter can shoot over top of just about anybody who's defending out on the perimeter. And if Jokic doesn't go, my first thought when I was trying to figure out reasons why I shouldn't bet it was, well, maybe they'll put Aaron Gordon on him. But without Jokic in there, Aaron Gordon's assignment becomes a little bit different. It becomes more at the rim, which it usually is anyway, more paint protection. And I think with Aaron Gordon, he's your best big defender. They're going to stick him on Ingram anyway, which leaves MPJ to guard Trey Murphy III. And I like that even better for Trey Murphy when you got Michael Porter Jr. on you. So I think the matchup is good here. Like I say, lots of opportunity. Got a real accurate shooter. Got a team that's playing a certain way right now. I had Teddy question me this morning. He said, Rob, in 3 games against Denver, Trey Murphy's only made 5 attempts, but those 3 games came way early in the season, and they weren't necessarily giving him the usage that they're giving him now. I'm playing way more current form than I am seasonal form. I think what New Orleans is doing is working right now. I don't think they'll change it. So Trey Murphy over 2.5 threes in this game, Skee, I think is probably the best bet in my mind of all of them. I wouldn't talk you off New Orleans, but I did play Murphy over 2.5 threes.
Well, I would say the only thing I would say is Denver is a top 5 team defending the three on the season. But like I mentioned earlier, I'm not sure how much they're going to care about defending, how much they even care about this game in general. And Trey Murphy has been lighting it up lately. So I agree with that analysis. And hopefully you cash that over 2.5 3-point makes. A couple comments here. And they're liking your look here. They say Rob is spot on. Great look by you here, Rob. Couple comments. Let's see. Link says Skee. I'm surprised you're not monetized for super chats with your subscribers. I'll figure all that stuff out. I have, I have that, whatever you want to call it, monetize or whatever you can make that. But I just been trying to focus on keeping my streak alive and trying to provide winners for you guys. When, when I have a little bit more time, I'll figure everything else out. Okay.
We're working on banners still.
Yeah, I'm calling before I walk. I'm just trying to get the show going. Keep it there. We still got the guys in the chat have to remind me for the banner, so I'll get there eventually. Link. If you're telling me that that's something that you would like there, I'll move a little bit faster to try to do it. D says, oh, he's letting us know what Tatum said. He says Tatum said the most important thing is starting off better, not getting behind, and he's focused on how they respond after this loss to the Wizards. Okay, so maybe Celtics early. That's what it sounds like from this quote. Sounds like we need to be looking at a first quarter kind of a bet here. With Bucks on the back to back, I tend to think the more the game goes on, the more it favors the Celtics. But with a quote like this, probably need to look about early. What do you think about that?
I do, and in fact, I thought about it. Like I said earlier, I've thought about shortening this thing up. I'm just a little bit afraid that Milwaukee didn't play taxing minutes, and they've been coming out of the shoot real quick. So I don't really want to rush in front of them early. Skee, I'm kind of with you that as the game goes on, maybe Boston has more legs because they're the rested team. But I'm not going to argue it. I mean, if Boston comes out of the shoot quick, we know how they shoot. The other thing that does make me a little bit leery is the difference between the way Boston shoots at home and on the road. Right, at home, I'd have no problem with them, but on the road, it's been a little bit different with the threes. Still, it's a great offense that could attack right away and catch Milwaukee off guard. So I'm indecisive on that.
Fair enough. Let's keep looking at a couple more comments. D Manny says he's on New Orleans. D says New Orleans has been playing some of the best basketball the last 5 games. These teams that need to win to get better senior getting to play and want these games. I agree. And I've been trying to play on the team who's the more motivated team. And it is why I like the Pelicans here. Only thing I'll say about the last 5 games is they've been playing bums, not necessarily playing a bum here, but I don't think they'll have Denver's full attention. So I still think they're the right side. Manny says he thinks they'll win outright. Boofer, he says, I'm 30. You can cash at me until Skee turns on the monetizing. Chris Clark says Celtics first half team total over 58.5. Let's see. I can't talk you off of that bet. I think they'll be able to score in the game early, like Rob mentioned. I think it'll start to slow down in that second half and even more so in that fourth quarter. So I don't want to talk you off of a first half wager like that. Boofer said he meant thirsty. He's thirsty, not 30. He said he's way over 30. Gilbert letting us know that Aaron Judge is doing work over there on the diamond. So it's about that time, right, Rob? I know you got a baseball show to do today. It is open.
Yeah.
Day. So let's get to. Well, we only had 2 NBA games. We'll get to touch more. Tomorrow it'll be a more thorough show. But is there anything you would like to promote, and maybe out of the 2 games, something that you like more than or a best bet out of the 2 games?
Yeah, let's go ahead and promote real quick, as you mentioned, or one of the viewers mentioned to us, Skee. It is half off Thursday. They're calling this Throwback Thursday from now on. To the best of my knowledge, it'll be a weekly thing, not something that's transferable. But again, like Skee said, go to customer service. Throwback Thursday, all it is in essence, guys, all packages are half price. So if you want to test out a handicapper, I know, Skee, you're red hot in NBA right now. If you guys aren't purchasing yet, get them at half price on Thursdays from here on out. So that's the promotion. Go to wagertalk.com, drop your email address in, and catch all the video content that we do, all the analysis on games, absolutely for free, just by dropping your email address. And again, selection packages up and available, wagertalk.com. I'm going to leave you guys with the Trey Murphy over threes prop. I really like that one. I think he'll get 9-10 shots at it. I think he'll certainly make 3 or more. And if you're right, Skee, and Denver doesn't come out fully focused on this one, then Trey Murphy probably makes his, and Utah probably covers, and Michael Malone probably gets up their ass for tomorrow night's game against Phoenix. So I'm going to leave it there. Trey Murphy over 2.5 threes minus 130.
Good stuff there, Rob. And just real quick, I'll I was agreeing with Sab Rossi. Just do you think you would push us in that direction or maybe not? He says he likes North Texas tonight, but waiting until right before the tip to get the best number. All the money's on UAB.
Yeah, and we saw all the money on UAB the other night, and it failed. So I'd be with you, Sab. I would probably wait this one out. There doesn't seem to be a lot of affection for North Texas. Believe it or not, it's the fourth time this year these two will meet because they're conference members. Twice regular season, once conference tournament, and now again for the fourth time. These two teams are going to play. Interesting battle. I apologize for not having enough time to go over it. This baseball show is going to get in my way today, so I apologize to the chat.
All right, and D. Williams says, good show. Keep doing our thing. Link asking for one prop on the Celtics game. Didn't look too deep into it. We got to go. I'll say Al Horford threes have been money, so I might just lean towards him to continue that. And Boofer, remind everybody hit the red hot like button if you like what Rob and I are providing. It does help us out. If you could hit the like button, and if you want to know when we go live, just hit the subscribe. You'll get a notification each time. For myself, best bet, I will go Boston and Milwaukee game. I'll go under the 236.5. Two elite teams play. You're going to see a lot more defense. They're trying to show them who the top dog is. That playoff intensity atmosphere. We'll go with the lower scoring game tonight, under 236.5. So this show, like I always say, is nothing without the chat. We appreciate the energy that you guys bring. We appreciate you guys supporting us. Best of luck on all your action. We will be back again tomorrow, and we'll see you then.